द अनसीन फ्लो ऑफ ग्रेस। जब कृपा बरसती है तो हमें जितना बटोरना है बटोर लेना चाहिए, लेकिन कभी कभी किसी को पता ही नहीं चलता कि कृपा बरस भी रही है क्या। क्योंकि क्या रहता है ना, हम शायद उस चीज को देख ना पाए। अब देखो, जैसे कि मेरे पीछे एकदम ब्लू कलर का पर्दा लगा हुआ है। अब इस ब्लू कलर के पर्दे में एक छोटी सी चीज अगर ऐसे व्हाइट कलर की होगी ना, तो आपको नजर सबसे पहले इधर ही जाएगा। वैसे ही हमारे जीवन में आ, गुरुदेव ने भी बहुत सारी चीजें दे रखी है। इनफैक्ट हमें पूरा ब्लैंक चेक दे रखा है गुरुदेव ने। ये अचानक मेरे हाथ में आ गया तो मेरे मुंह से निकल गया। तो एकदम पूरा ब्लैंक चेक दे के रखा है, लेकिन हमारा नजर उसमें नहीं जा रहा है। असीमित कृपा बरस रही है गुरुदेव की। तो आज हम वही हिडन, अनसीन ग्रेस के बारे में बात करेंगे। हिडन तो नहीं है, अनसीन जरूर है। अनसीन फ्लो ऑफ ग्रेस। टुडे वी हैव रोहिणी अनंत जी विथ अस। सो mostly the session will be in Hindi English mix English. So everyone get ready to just dive in this wonderful session. Let me introduce Rohini ji. Talking about her, uh, she holds a B.Tech honors in computer science and MS in software systems. Began her corporate journey in 2005, gathering 14 years of experience across leading firms like Nokia Research, Accenture, Mobility, and Goldman Sachs, where she served as vice president. Her spiritual journey started in 2007 with Art of Living. By 2021, she became a certified happiness program teacher and also a trainer for craniosacral therapy. She conducted numerous programs in Bangalore, Gurugram, volunteered for several Art of Living initiatives, and led to Har Ghar Dhyan campaign. As a North coordinator, a devoted homemaker, and mother, she passionately carries Gurudev's vision to spread joy and wisdom. So today she is here with us. Rohini ji, welcome. सबसे पहले, this topic is about the unseen grace. So is ये सच में होता है क्या कुछ unseen grace जैसा? Please tell.
Jai Gurudev, Namaste everybody. We will start with a little prayer. Let's keep our eyes closed. The beautiful Shravan Mass is also starting, and yesterday was Guru Purnima, where we were full of gratitude. हम तो इतना कृतज्ञ से भरे हुए थे, तो आज तो कृपा कृपा ही कृपा है. तो let us start. Om Namah Pratantaya Shuddha Jnanekam Nirmalaya Prashantaya Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namah. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. So yes, first of all, full of gratitude for this beautiful session. Yes, that it has come through. This itself is a great story, actually. And but what you're doing, Abhishek, I really want to appreciate that. जो ये हमारे अभी इतने सारे कंटेंट जो है उसमें जो प्राणा को अपलिफ्ट करने वाली जो चीज है. And that is what you're doing, such a big seva to so many people, whether they're part of the journey in Art of Living or not. But this is something that everybody can just say, you can log in and then immediately you can find so many stories which really inspire, isn't it? One person and एक ही one person and everybody that he has met, millions of log, everybody has an inspiring story to say, so many stories to say. What else it is than grace, isn't it? Yes. So I want this talk also, and it's not like, this is unseen grace that we are talking about. So हमारा ये talk भी होगा कि ऐसे ही flow होने लगेगा. So this is the grace that is taking over also. So I wanted to talk about basically that, हम ये path में आते हैं. So there are three divisions that I wanted to talk about. तीन भागों में कि पहले, before that we come into this, right? Before all of this happened, that we came into the course या गुरु से मिले, उसके पहले. और जब हम मिलते हैं, कोर्स करते हैं, उसके बाद एक turbulent phase होता है. ये है कि नहीं, you are so many doubts also. And उसके बाद मेरा journey जो बोल रही हूँ, उसके बाद जो टीचर होने and a teacher होने के बाद उसका journey. I just want to make it like this so that you know what all the incidents and how I have seen this unseen hand that has always been protecting, always been guiding. Yes. So shall I begin, Abhishek ji, or you want to? I guess. So मेरा story शुरू होता है कि like very beautiful family. I have a sister, and my family. My father is a bank job, and we have a transferable job. हम शहर शहर घूमते रहते हैं. So it's always that people make it so beautiful. So we have never attached to, but so beautifully that every place has always taught us, and every person has always taught us. So we hopped around, and we were fairly doing very well in this terms of as a family. All the things that were provided materialistically thoda, yes. And also that I got to meet, me and my sister used to sing, so we used to meet a lot of gurus from as a part of singing in the school. Our correspondent used to make us meet a lot of gurus also. So from a young age we have seen a lot of gurus that way. So that is something that was so beautiful, that we don't realize then, that I didn't realize then, but now when you think about it, it's so beautiful. And we were in a small place. So I'm just starting this fast forward to we are in a small place called Satur, which is actually near Shivadasi, where they make these fireworks factory, fireworks and stuff. So, and one fine day, we were very, everything was going so well. Everybody were very popular. We were called Satur sisters, my parents, everybody. That day, it was a day before my father's birthday. Just in a switch, he lost his, there was a clot in his brain and he lost his full left side. And those days, it is 1994 that we are talking about. And there was nothing, we didn't know about, there is, you don't even know that stroke exists. There's only heart attack that you would have suspected. But that particular day, all the doctors of a very big hospital were right there for a function. We don't know how. And there was one doctor who had come with a small ECG, and he immediately said, this is nothing to do with the heart. It is something to do with the brain. You have to rush him to the hospital in Madurai, which is a bigger hospital. And while all this was happening, I was in, it is the 5th to 6th holiday. So somebody came, somebody gave my mom money, and everything happened in a fraction of a second. Then we realized suddenly everything has turned over, right? But there has always been some force that has taken care, right? And we didn't know, but it was just that everybody helped us, suddenly gave his money, and then my father was taken at the right time, because if at all it was a coma, then we've never seen him. And we realized that all of this has happened because of stress. There was no other issue, but there was just something that was bothering in his workplace that had led to this, right? And when such things happen, people start resorting to many other whatever anybody says, they want to immediately do it. So somebody had sent a letter to my mother saying that this is actually black magic. Somebody has done black magic. So you have to do something, you have to cut some maybe PG or something that they said you have to do a sacrifice. And I remember my mother reading this letter and going blank. By then we had shifted to Madras also, because we wanted a better, hospital and relatives nearby. And I remember sleeping that night. Okay. And there's this, Murti of Narayana that we have, which came fully life size. It came, and it felt like how we are talking now, right? It didn't, as a child, you don't even feel, but that it just felt so real. And it, that there was just that, it just said that, do not worry, I will take care, don't do this. So whatever was suggested in the letter, whatever that was happening there, don't do this, I will take care. That's all that happened. The next day morning, I actually told my mother that, I saw this vision and, this is what Narayana, suddenly I don't know how, but it felt so nice and so real. And my mother believed it that, God comes in different ways, grace flows in different ways. So this is something, there's a message that has come and we will not. And from then, it has been only a very, very positive upward journey throughout that. We had so much struggle, but somewhere we're always being positive. And I went on to become, that, we two girls, and then people had this that, you have two girls, how will you do things? And so I went on to take this responsibility that parents are parents, that, you should only take care. So, I got, again, why, this is all questions, but then I did well in my school. I got, state first, state second, and got into BITS Pilani. I got a scholarship also there. And then it happened that, I finished my journey in college. And when I returned to, I got a job in a startup. That was then a startup which was trying to do something like WhatsApp. So it was in Bangalore. So when I come to Bangalore, my parents were in Chennai. I wanted them to move back here. By then, my father, with this journey that I was telling, he'd already done physiotherapy, gotten into job in 8 months, and he'd also retired by 2021. And so he was in 2000, no, I'm talking about 2001. I'm sorry, this is a golden handshake. Yes, so 2001 he retired. He had completed his journey, in back this, and he was happy. And he was there. My mother had started working right after this, to manage the finances. So I wanted them to come, they were in Chennai. I wanted them to take care of them. And so I told them, you come to Bangalore. So look for everything. And then they shifted to Bangalore. Now Bangalore is a new place. So I wanted them to, have a nice, get around people. And we were staying in a flat kind of, not flat, a little house kind of system. So suddenly somebody walks in with this pamphlet, which is then it is called the basic course. And I see this person, and then it is written Art of Living. And I, without even, just a blink, not even that, I just said that they both are going to register now. Because anyway, it's happening here and they get to know the people. So then I told, then they looked at the person who gave this. I don't even know who is the volunteer. I still thank. Yes. So he said that this is for you. This is also for you. You will also enjoy this. This is something that you should be. And you know how we think that we have done some, we have got some education and we think that we know everything, that hota hai. I know the art of living. This is all not for me. I don't want these guru or baba log sab nahi chahiye karke. And and then I didn't tell them, but this is what was running. Usually it happens that when you think, and then I say no, ye karenge, abhi ye course karenge. And they went. And remember, my father was at its peak of career when he got this attack. So there was so much stress was already there. But after that, there's so much of things that he had lost, and everything was hidden, right? But just 2 days into the course, the transformation that I saw in my father made me question. I, in fact, asked them, "आप कुछ खा रहे क्या, पी रहे क्या, दे रहे वहां पर? ये तो बहुत खुश लग रहे हैं. What happened?" And the fourth day, he was dancing. And that is when it started. I mean, till then you're not even looking, but then you start questioning. Ye kya hai? What is this? What is that they're doing? My mother said, if you, when aap ye course karoge, to bahut enjoy karoge. Then you should do this course for you. And so those days, last day, we used to. So now comes the entry, right? I'm just coming to the part where I see also. Yes. And last day, we used to go to previously they used to take us to the ashram. We were in Bangalore, we were doing. So the last day happens in the ashram. So all the people can come along. And so I went along because it's a new place and both my parents were doing. And my father, so now if you know the Visalakshi Mandap is, before that there was before that there's the amphitheater. For people who don't know, I'm just saying that, there's a Visalakshi Lotus Mandap. Before that there's an amphitheater. My father couldn't, so something was happening inside the Visalakshi Mandap. So my father couldn't go there. So we were seated in the amphitheater. And Doot say, right, now the secretariat where the Ganapati is all there, I see this bunch of kids running saying, Gurudev, we love you, Gurudev, we love you, Guruji, Guruji, Guruji. And there's this person who's in white with this, and he just turns around and looks straight from there into my eyes. So ऐसे ही मुड़कर, और then जो बोलते हैं ना, just straight, and then आप तो स्तंभित हो गए, that is you're transfixed, you don't know what happened, but उसके बाद कुछ तो shift हुआ, और मैं, ये तो बहुत genuine लग रहा है. Till then there was there was some, ये क्यों हो रहा है, ये सब, there's something very genuine about this. So then I mean, something shifted. I know for sure something had shifted. Something was, and this person, ये अभी अजीब नहीं लगे, या दूसरे, I mean, you call that, right? He's not a stranger anymore. कुछ ऐसा लगा कि I know this person already. And then we heard a meditation by Gurudev, and there was something that was being played. And then I suddenly realized, ये वही जो ध्वनि था that had guided me when, from the Narayana that I had heard, it is the same voice that had come. So that is when you realize that not necessarily the Guru has to come pratyaksha in physical form, but then the grace has always been there, right? And for people who feel that, oh, I don't see him, or I'm not near him, oh, ye course karne se kya hota hai, or जो people who are trying to do volunteering, and then you're trying to reach out to people, know that itself is the grace that is trying to go and flow. So whatever that you're doing, you're planting the seed, and you're planting a beautiful, seed of grace into everybody's life. So I mean, this is something that really suddenly shook, right? And I realized not there, but I realized it way later, that this is the same voice. Suddenly it came. But हमें ये होता है कि miracles जो हम जो बोल, it is when you start, it goes beyond your logical reasoning, isn't it? Yes. There's many things that happen beyond your logical reasoning, and you don't know, ये क्यों हो रहा है? अरे ये कैसा हुआ? And that is when you realize that, there is something beyond that is working, that we think हमारे लॉजिक, I mean, ये करने से ये होता है, ये करने से, ये साइंटिफिक, ये माइंड से दूर से और कुछ काम कर रहा है करके. So this was before. So now the course ho gaya. Then I did my course. Again, I did my course when, after 3 months of research, I went around with people, and all these people, ye sab log hai, both, very well positioned PhDs and IIMs and all that. And yet I'm going and being with them, doing volunteering. I did volunteering even before I did my course. And I see that what is the transformation. There was, in fact, one person, volunteer, I remember, it was called Ravi Shankar, and I asked him, did you change your name for that? And he's like, ऐसे नहीं होते. You are like thinking, लोग तो पागल है, यहाँ पर सभी कर लेते हैं, तो maybe change कर लिया उन्होंने नाम. And then, I mean, you feel silly now, but then yes, that is what sometimes. And then I realized that whatever that they were doing, they were not doing for, there's something that inspires you, right? Some things that if you get a reward, then you do. Unless you've been inspired or transformed deep within, kuch, transformation hota hai deep within, then you will never do something like this. Go out and do something, just wait and do without, there is no, kya milta hai isme se, kuch monetary milta hai, kuch ye milta hai. Nahi, hum to both sa, they keep saying that isse both different milta hai, aapko ye pata nahi, you have to, and you have to experience. So they kept saying, you have to experience Sudarshan Kriya. I said, हम कितने भी गुलाब जामुन को डिस्क्राइब करें, unless you eat it, you will not know it. तो मैंने सुदर्शन क्रिया जब फर्स्ट टाइम किया, एक तो मेघा कोर्स था इंदिरा नगर में, नंदिनी सेन और कोई और टीचर्स थे, एंड आई ब्रॉट इन ऑल्सो couple of people along with me when I did the course. And first time Sudarshan Kriya, so it was like always so many thoughts, so reactive, and suddenly I experienced the thoughtless state of mind, and that particular state I've never, and so it feels so unreal that suddenly aisa bhi hota hai kya, and it was so beautiful, it is so addictive, right? And that is when I wanted to keep, it kept me that, I wanted to experience, and suddenly body reset ho gaya. suddenly there was something that had lifted off, and then body reset ho gaya. You're feeling so fresh, alive, at the same time relaxed, and jo bhi calm. I mean, I was part of this, Nokia research also then, and a part of a startup, and then in between I was. But that 1 year, 1 week when I did was the best time of work also. Itna, I mean, avishkar bhi hua tha us time. And I was feeling, kya ho raha hai? Something has changed. What is this? And people around also, they notice something. So this was then journey starts, that you want to keep experiencing this. So then you have people also. Then your satsang also matters. So very beautiful, group of people that I was associated then with, and we started doing seva. But when I was doing the seva also, there is always this. So this is the next journey, that the turbulent phase that you're still testing. Ye wali cheez.
One question I need to ask, because
Yes,
it
tell
just
me.
might be out of the topic, because
Yes,
you
yes.
Nokia, and especially in Nokia research, there is lot of negative videos about Nokia, like Nokia didn't update it. Like now it has become a very big synonym. Like someone who doesn't change with time, they take the example of Nokia. So actually, what's the story? Because you were there in the Nokia.
I I'm not officially qualified to say that, but I was part of that journey when things were changing. But then one thing I realized was also something that you can take back is you have to keep updating, correct? So as a, whether it's a company or as this, I think some of them rested on their oars करके बोलते हैं ना, थोड़ा ये हो गए कि हाँ हम तो अभी लीडर्स है करके, बट हमें अपग्रेड होना चाहिए। और ये हमारे लिए भी बहुत सही है कि हम ऐसे जर्नी में पर्टिकुलरली हमें भी अपग्रेड होना चाहिए, right? So, and that was the time when everybody, and remember, so again I'm coming to this portion that sabhi, around the office also things are not going well, but then there is something that you are holding on to because your sadhana is that it is actually not disturbing you much, right? And while doing also ये सेवा करने में मैं actually मैं ये भी बोलने चाहती हूँ कि what does all this do to you, because you are doing okay, साधना तो कर रही हूँ, मैं क्यों ऐसे जाकर सेवा करूँ, क्यों सत्संग भी बैठूं करके. So what is the grace that, I mean, what is the transformation that happens there? So when I was telling this to a couple of people, Nokia is a very, I mean, high intensity वो research लोग होते हैं, ऐसा होते हैं ना, तो everybody were like ये बाबा लोग, and they used to tease also and then blatantly say things. And then this is something that everybody, I mean, in this journey, if you're a volunteer or you're trying to say somebody, suddenly you feel that the more positive things you say, people actually sometimes they try to not look at it, but then something else gets. Then ये होता है कि but you still feel that yes, this is my I mean, I've taken this my responsibility to tell them whether you want it. But even when they said, that didn't affect. And I remember standing on the road giving a pamphlet, somebody crushed the paper and threw it on my face. हाँ ऐसा, ये क्या कर रहे हो, नहीं ये वाला ये तो, and then he crushed. And I remember, if it was the old me, I would have reacted. And suddenly I'm standing there smiling, Hare, don't waste the paper. And I did this, and I'm looking, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, ये क्या हुआ है मुझे? How, who am I? Right? The thing that has happened within because of this sadhana, and because of this. And there's the other person who is behind him who looked at this ये reaction देख के उसने बोला, please give it to me. That is when you realize that every small things, that suddenly what is happening within, this is a journey. So you start your, suddenly the awareness sets, and then the journey starts with it, right? And uske baad, then you start knowing what is this happening within and who is responsible for this, isn't it? The grace that is responsible for this. So Nokia में भी जो लोग मैंने बोला था, all of them, some of them didn't, some did, but all those people who didn't also, who said something, 10 years later, right at the ashram door, I met them and they said, Are, हमें पहले ही करना था. When you were saying we were not mature enough. And that also happened. Yes. So yes, you want to, you want me to continue or you want me to ask something? Yes.
Like you were telling, like we were discussing also, there are certain stages in this journey. Like people who are in this path, sometimes they love the practice. like okay, we are on to this practice. Sometime we are doing, sometime we don't do it. But guru concept, okay, I'm not 100% resonating with it, because the world is saying कि आप इंडिपेंडेंट रहो, आप खुद का विचार रखो, आप किसी के स्लेव मत बनो विचार के. There are many people who want to project themselves as big intellectuals. They don't want to get associated with any stream or any type of group. So what do you want to tell them?
I would just say that, experience first, and no, when you come in, it is not necessarily that you have to immediately connect to the master or the guru, right? This is more, if you look at it in a very scientific way, what does Sudarshan Kriya do? ये हमारा advanced meditation जो कर रहे हैं, और all of these at a very practical and scientific level, the basic thing is to relieve you out of stress and to give you energy to do your life job. तो ये first, ये inhibition नहीं होना चाहिए first, so that you can actually experience. हम न्यू रेस्टोरेंट ट्राई करते हैं, न्यू फोन ट्राई करते हैं, तो ये भी एक नई चीज है दैट यू शुड एक्सपीरियंस एंड देन बिकम अवेयर, राइट? उसके बाद होता है कि दैट वेदर आई एम looking for, review from everybody to approve this, correct? Sometimes that you need it, but you are looking for everybody अप्रूव करने के लिए, वो ये बोलेंगे तो नाउ एवरीबडी सोशल मीडिया में ऐसा हो रहा है, देन आई विल गो विद दैट ट्रेंड. Sometimes you need it, but it is just that you are not able to acknowledge because of the fear also. So that when you do the course itself, there is a little bit of things that when we talk about the knowledge points that do not become football accept and all that, there is a reformation that happens. But otherwise also, for every small things we need a mentor, isn't it? Yes, we do need a mentor. Now to corporate mein mentor, or the guide and career guide, everything is so, I mean, so popular that you want a master class and stuff. Now here we have a instrument and some things that we don't understand at all, life, emotions. Yes. And there is a person, or there is a technique that has been rolled out, a path that has been shown, wherein they're telling you how to manage this effectively. Ultimate aim है happiness, isn't it? Ultimate aim सभी को है happiness, peace. तो how to do it effectively बोल रहे हैं, तो a wise person will do the SIP investment. Right? So यही है, जब पहले ही कर दो तो बाद में आपका returns भी बहुत होगा, तो यही होता है. तो even for the intellectual, there's so much to dig in this, there's so much more, right? So when they realize that, and so all of them at one point, even most of them that I met during my, that portion of the journey is, I've been an investment banker also. People, at that level, so they have everything, but they keep saying something is missing. Kuch to hai. And that, when they go through that, is when they realize that Gurudev said yesterday, that is your beginning of, there's something inside you which is always a seeking. So usko dhyan, awareness, that's all that you need. Yes. And sometimes somebody, you push them and they do it and then they come back. It is not necessarily also, for me also, ye kiya hua ki main kiya. Or then after that 10 years, sometime it was not that main ekdam zor se, josh se thi isme. But that is still in the background mein jo reh raha tha. Or it kept pulling back. Right? And whether it was through the journey of my marriage or my child, on all that, there were so many stories that I can relate to, that the grace was still, there is something, there is an unseen hand which is always protecting, that we don't know what it is, but that was always there. And there is this kavach that you say, ye sadhana karne ke baad jo kavach hota hai na, whatever happens, you're always protected from inside, right? At the end of the day, सभी रोजी रोसी नहीं होता है, राइट? सो हम तो ये जिंगल बोलते हैं ना, अप एंड डाउन इज अ पार्ट ऑफ लिविंग, स्माइलिंग थ्रू इट इज द आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग. सो ये वाली जिंगल तो होने के लिए पहले हमें कुछ करना पड़ता है, और वो है हमारा साधना, एंड देन कीप अपग्रेड. एंड उसके साथ होता है ग्रेटिट्यूड, उसके साथ रहता है हमारा ग्रेस. एंड समटाइम्स द ग्रेस इज कंटिन्यूअसली फ्लोइंग, इट इज जस्ट दैट we don't recognize or we are not aware of it. That's all. Correct.
Obviously, there will be few people who will criticize you for what you are doing anyways, because when it was a very big news actually when the ISRO chairman Dr. S Somnath went to temple and he was praying before this Mangalyaan thing, and everyone was saying that, see, that's why India is failing and all everything. But when the satellite went to moon, everything happened successfully. uh, there was nothing like that. So it's not like that. The person who are like very much intellectual in the ISRO also, they also pray. So it's completely a different thing that we should ponder upon. So yes, there is a higher power which is taking care. What do you want to say about it, Rohini?
Joe, I mean, Gurudev always says this, right? Previously, there is an age when, yoga बोलने से ही सभी लोग ऐसे देखते थे. Abhi people are waking up, right? Waking up to the ancient knowledge and more and more. I will never say that, yes, there are equal set of people who oppose, but it is equally that because they're opposing, there are many truths which are coming out also. There are more of research that is, I mean, that is coming out, whether it is our Sudarshan Kriya or, we get to know more to even tell another person, ye kaise, how beautiful it is. Scientifically also, I can tell you how beautiful it is, isn't it? But yes, that there should be more and more awareness. That is why there should be more people out on the social media also that, should be talking more about this. Right. And more, and like we say that, I'm in Gurugram. So har corner mein Jagat Jyoti ek thela shop hai, but milk has to be delivered and people rush to that, right? Whereas milk has to be delivered to every home. So it is our responsibility also that way to keep spreading. Whoever is, got this, they need to, whatever that they've got, it is very important to acknowledge and be open about it. The voice of the truth and voice of the peace needs to be loud and clear, is the real message now that has to go forward. Like how you said, more and more people, when they talk about it, there is again some other people come because there is a vibe about it. And yoga has become such a vibe now. Meditation, whether they call it mindfulness, whatever. But our pioneer is sitting here, and it is, I mean, we cannot say because 180 countries are having this grace flowing, isn't it? So we have everywhere that we have a family. So it is definitely some beautiful, I mean, awakening that is definitely happening. Millions of millions people are joining. There are more to join. There are only two kinds of people: one who have already come, one who are yet to come. That is all. Right? Iske saath jana hai, but very important is our own journey. That when we do this, our own journey, other people, we start unseen, we affect them also. Right? It is very important. That is very important. See, this I remember that when I was in the office when I was there, just I had a very important presentation, and it was my, I mean, it was my internship presentation, which will decide whether ye job milega ki nahi. And it was supposed to be a 10 people presentation. Suddenly, my manager wo bole ki ye abhi hamara staff meeting ho jayega, and you're going to present it to people here and in London. Okay. And this is finance that we are talking, but I've just entered Goldman Sachs, and I am new to finance. I'm more of a technical person, and we are in the electronic trading. So I was like, little, this. Then all I did is quickly went and did my Kriya, right? I just sat for some time. I said, whatever happens, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to be in that state of mind that came. And I don't know how the way, whatever I said, whatever I presented, the presence, whatever happened, there was a standing ovation. And the manager said, this has never happened before. How? Grace. Yes, that there is something, you are centered, then suddenly you find that, things start flowing, and then you start opening up. So wherever that it is needed, whether you want it to be centered, take decisions, and, be intuitive. वो तो है हमारे path में, when you're rested within. So meditation is nothing but, yes, that's what we were saying, that, I remember discussing this. Meditation is nothing but taking away the senses and going deep within, isn't it? Sometimes people think the happiness is in that, no, in the things that they use or the substance that they, because it somewhere shuts down their senses and they start enjoying. But there is another beautiful way also to shut down and then come deep within, and that is what the grace and the Guru is always telling us to do. And even and how you affect people. I remember going into first day, and suddenly there's this girl who comes and says, I remember you. You were the one who gave the intro talk 4 years back in my PG. And I was shocked. And this thing, that internship, that how it came itself, I don't know how it came. It was just again grace that it came. And that day when I entered, when she reminded me, I realized who is actually, what is the grace that is flowing. And this person 4 years later, that she remembers that I came to give an intro talk in a PG. And that is when you realize that, oh my God, whatever that you do, and when you say and you actually implemented something. And this is also to show the presence, that why you came here, who is, who is the real boss here, to that you've gone through this and you've got this also. Yes. And so this turbulent stage is when many, many of us kind of, either go through or fall through also, right? Ye hota hai ki you do it and then intellectually you start questioning, or ye kaam nahi kar raha hai. Sometimes you're, you're going on doing, or sometimes you're not meeting the master. It's everybody says, Guru, he talked to me, he told me this, but sometimes not everybody has the story like that. And then what happens, right? Again, that is when I see this is the unseen grace. Know that the grace is always flowing. We are not talking about, again, the person that has come is a physical form, but the tattva that we are talking about, right? The Guru tattva that we are talking about is continuously there, whether we recognize or not, it is continuously there. And that is when, and all of these that happens, even when you go back and you come in, there is a growth that is happening within. And this is what truly the master wants also, the Guru wants also, right? Whatever that you're going through, there is always something that will. So there is this dialogue by Rajnikant that, it says that even if you good people you'll be tested a lot of time, but you will never be, ye chodne te. I don't know what you call it. I mean, you're not left, right? You're always held. So that something that holds you is always this. And uh, so there are a lot of these questions that come, and whether I'm on this, and then looking at around, everything happens. But many of us have gone through this journey, and that is one of these turbulent testing times. But know that, believe and go deep within. अपने अंतर्मुखी जाने से आपको पता लगता है कि is this right for me? Is this correct? Right? Is this the person? Is it? All the answers lie within, but sometimes we are looking outward. Yes, and that is something that I want to tell people. Even if you go a little away, or sadhana nahi hua, ye nahi hua, and every day sadhana need not be magical, because you're looking from A to B, we are looking at B to B, always fantastic, not necessarily, right? But definitely there is always a growth that is happening, and we just have to stay put and satudirga kala, right? We have to keep going forward. But all the journeys, that all the stories that we hear actually tell that yes, you're always taken care, and you're always being pushed forward for something, right? Mm. Yes. So during this is journey is when it is very important that you have a guidance of a teacher also. That is, if you have done your course, or if you have somebody that that you're looking for, to reaching out and staying in touch with your center teachers, being in touch with your satsang actually really helps to keep your spirits high, right? And to be guided to do, whether it has to be the next advanced course that you're going for. Say you're feeling like your leadership qualities have to be, then wo hota hai DSN course ke liye. Ye sab bolne se, it is not like oh, they're pushing me, they're doing, but it is always that the call comes from somewhere else through your teacher, right? So during when I was doing this volunteering also, is when uh, I'll just skip to the next part of the journey also. Unless you have any questions, I'll just move to the next part, Abhishek.
Yes, Divya.
Because I want to end it up with the last story that is something that I want to say about um, whether we meet. I mean, it's always some of us are being part of this journey, but then we keep seeing that, oh, whether Gurudev really, really listens, he's really caring, is he, oh, only some people he meets all that. Yesterday we heard him say that also, that ऐसे नहीं कि थोड़े screws होते हैं तो लूज होते हैं तो उसको टाइटन करना है आप तो ठीक हो, but sometimes it has to keep, you want to reassure yourself sometimes. So ये journey हुआ कि suddenly when I was there and as an investment banker जब थी, मुझे लगा कि क्या कर रहे हैं, that sudden call that what are you doing, आप क्या कर रहे हो. And that is exactly, things happen in such a way that I had to, I took a break from my corporate, and then I started my journey back to, again, attached back to a center, and started my journey as a volunteer, did some yoga course, and then started. And when this was happening, suddenly, this was in the year 2019 end, and 2020 में तो COVID शुरू हो गया, right? It started, and the kind of the amount of transformation and the things that we have seen during COVID was amazing. First, Gurudev himself was giving so many, 2 times meditation. That itself was such a, grace for us. And the kind of people that we were able to reach out to, people who got, with no reason, some people were anxious, right? And all of this happened. So the kind of transformation, the kind of seva that as an organization that we have reached out and done actually was so beautiful. And COVID actually taught us many things, that, what are the real things that you should, like how we were saying, right? All the peripheral things that we care about suddenly dropped, and the real things started mattering, and people started feeling more and more, oh, kuch miss ho raha hai. And then, then they started exploring more into this world of going within, deep within also. And we were there, and I remember doing this. So that is when I see, some of the stories that I remember very, that we did this, just the calling of, all of us know that hum ashram mein jate hain, the only question that Gurudev asks is, are you happy, aap khush ho, correct? So we wanted to do this to all the people, right? Whomever that we were in contact, we told them that all that you have to do is pick up the call the participant, all the volunteers also, the participants, and then if their family, that are you okay, are you happy? And you don't know, this created such a wave that, sometimes when we call, they would need a bed or an oxygen, and we had the right, another person who could connect, and we were able to provide. And how this, and this, there were some people who were so depressed, they lost their dear one or this, and they just, that call made such a big difference. Then, so this, when Gurudev says that all that you have to do is, आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, लोगों से बात करना है, right? This is how you make the grace flow also, that it's stuck with you. You just have to speak to people, not speak other things, but yes, are you okay, are you happy? And then if there is a way that you can show them, that is the best service that you can do to them.
That time, the teachers used to put in their Facebook DP also, like if you are feeling anxious, you feel free to reach.
Yes.
Only
There's so many that, we were waiting, we were having packets to distribute. Suddenly it was getting over, and we were like, Jai Gurudev, and there were 100 more people in the line. And we don't know what to do. Me, and when I remember my teacher, Archana ji, Prasad ji, they were all there. And then we were thinking what to do. We just said, Jai Gurudev. Suddenly there is a car that comes, and he's come from somewhere. He said, we took a turn and came here. He opens up, and he has exactly the 100 packets that we need. How? Then that is when you said that miracles, when it happens, so many miracles that it happens, that this is beyond your logical, aise kaise wo, aise, maybe he took a turn. Yes, you can say all that, but then the grace is the grace that flows through, right? When you start doing, it starts flowing. Mm. And there's only little less time, right?
oh, you can take some time. You can share the Gurugrams.
The last, so after you, becoming, when a volunteer, being a volunteer again, coming back into this journey of being a volunteer and becoming a teacher, I did it with so many, beautiful batch of 99 that we were with Giri Bhaiya. So it was such a transformational journey within, and so much that we were holding on to, and then suddenly it was like, uh, that suddenly you've been handed, whether you are eligible or not, you've been handed this, I mean, knowledge that has to be passed down, that can make other people happy. And then that big responsibility, when it is given, right, you feel, first this, he makes you feel light, yes, and then he makes you feel so, you're filled with gratitude that, you're able to do this tiny role, and make, make another person something that you're able to do for the society. And all of them who are here, you should experience being a volunteer, going ahead, and then take sankalpa to become teachers, which is very, very much needed in the society. We see so many other things happening, but this is something that is very much needed in the society today. And it is our job, our very little bit responsibility, that we can take to make another person happy and blossom, right, in the truest sense. So after this, I mean, we, so many courses and all that was happening, and I was able to become Hardar Gyan coordinator, was able to go and reach out to college students who, see, there is so much of guidance that needs to be provided as well. It is just that we are not talking much sometimes, that they don't know what is the path to take. But once they get an experience, once I was in a chaotic, college, they're all whistling, howling, everything. But once they finish a 10-minute meditation, the change is so visible. And then the two people are like, how do I continue this? Right? And that is when you realize that it is up to us to go and keep giving this awareness, this kind of awareness. There'll be so many people, even if they are first not able to, but then later you will know that this is what they didn't even know. So when you are saying something to another person, they don't even know what is gulab jamun. So how will they, so unless you give them the experience, उनको पता भी नहीं चलता है कि ये what is, there's something new. Suddenly it opens up so many possibilities for them. So let the grace flow that way. And so we 2024 24 के पहले, yes, 23, my husband, he got an offer in Gurugram, and we went to Gurudev. So that was the time. So yeah, this is also something that I wanted to say. Pehle to Gurudev, when you want to meet him, then it becomes, he starts giving you very easily, and sometimes you don't even want to meet him, and people tell you, you come, and then later there's a stage that comes that you are like, वेटिंग, अभी कब मिलेंगे, प्लीज मेरा नंबर कब आएगा, ये प्लीज ये कर दीजिए, ये अपॉइंटमेंट अप्रूव कर दीजिए करके. So now we are in that stage that yes, and then you want to ask his guidance for whatever big decisions that you're making in your life. You start trust, I mean, that faith has become now, that much that you start, now it has become, see, I mean, in the sense that you are closer to the master. You know that this person, all that he wants, and he, whatever he says is something that is definitely going to be more, what you say, that something that I definitely need to take his advice, because he sees something which is unseen also. Yes. And so when we went, and he said that, yes, you have to go. And I asked him, should I also go? And then, yes, you have to. And we shifted. So after that, 2004 has been a very, ये बोलते हैं ना, जो चप्पड़ फाड़ के देते हैं, तो every month has been somebody falling sick, and all सब उल्टा फुल्टा together it came, that my father-in-law had a heart problem, so he went through two stent operations. My mother had a knee surgery, and all that was happening. Every month I was in the hospital. And April, June, we shifted here. July, just I think I'm talking the same day, 1 year back. Yes, my God, that's very interesting. 1 year back, my son suddenly fell sick. Mera beta ka, suddenly he was feeling a little, weak in his legs, and then he had a lot of acidity, and then suddenly he was saying, I have some ear problem, earring may something. And we went to different doctors के पास गए, सभी एक एक करके बोले, but uh, we knew that it was not hitting the right, and we were new to this town, place, we didn't even know what to do. And then there is a call that comes. Okay, so whenever there is a call that comes, whether it is from art of living. No, it's not coming through them. It's coming through the grace that is flowing. Just pick up the call. Whenever there's somebody who's calling, pick up the call. This was from my very dear friend who is responsible for me becoming also teacher, Srijit Pratiksha there. And then he was like, is Madhav okay? And I said, no, he's not. And I'm trying to find out. And then he said, I have a person, a doctor in Sri Sri Hospital, Dr. Divya Sri. She diagnoses very well. And even when allopathy fails, then you can go to. And we have a thing with her. He has explained to her exactly जो भी other doctors से बोला है वही he has told her, and she has already knew what was the issue. And then she said, get a blood report done. And then it comes, and then we see that his blood sugars have shot up very high, that he has to be admitted in the hospital. And we rush to the hospital. They say he's got an autoimmune disease. And this, when this happens is when you realize that, suddenly things are breaking, everything is breaking around, that you suddenly, everybody around, and then it becomes your own children, and then it becomes even more, the effect becomes even more. But there is something within you which is holding, saying, no, you're taken care, you're taken care. And my son, he is being given insulin shots, and he's been put on drugs, he's been given insulin shots. And people for the close circle, when we come to know, they're all feeling so bad, crying and other stuff. And he is also, now he is a guru's child, his journey has started like that, right from that, he's been doing. He says that, Amma, don't worry, this is, this is something not to, that sadhana, something that has protected him. He is so brave. And he said, this is something like meditation, Gurudev says, thoughts will come, thoughts will go, this is come, this will go away. You don't, he's done his intuition also. But this felt like, why you need to be in this path. What is the beauty of this path is, even for, when we are going through something so tough, there is a protection. And then, there's so much of strength from inside that comes, not just as a family. And we were told that he has to be given insulin injections every day henceforth. And we immediately go to the ashram. We look at Gurudev, what is, and he listens to, like, is a normal person, like how we are talking, all that he takes in. And then he gives a smile, like, showing his divine, that grace rupa. Then he says, don't worry, we will manipulate. And he said, take sessions from Ankita also, that you do the CST sessions from Ankita, and consult this, and we will see. And when I go to Ankita, she says that, Gurudev has been asking that, have you given sessions? How is it? And I was like, my God, something, millions he meets every day, lakhs he meets. And then he's remembering that, he says he wants to, he wants to do something for this regard of, sugar and other stuff. So he's been sending people. And when she looked, she said, maybe it's a developmental. We will see about it. But if you want to continue, so now I'm in this, I have to come back to Gurugram, and I was ready to, stay there. And but she said, now you have the CST, knowledge of CST. Just a year back, I had just finished my CST. So the answer is already given before the problem arises. So she's like, now you know how to give CST, you continue the CST sessions. And when we came back also, there was another suggestion that was given, was let him take a functional medicine. There's a particular functional medicine that he can take. And we were like, when we come back, who is the doctor that is? And just before leaving from here, 1 month back, Gurudev had told in his satsang that, for all those who have taken vaccination, do an ozone therapy. Right? So we had found a particular clinic in Gurugram just to do the ozone therapy. Okay. And so this was happening. And in between, we got this news about my son, and we'd gone to the hospital, we'd gone to Gurudev. And when we come back, we realized this doctor deals with the same medicine that we wanted. How? Again, yes. And we look at him, and then we want this medicine. He says, I deal with this. I know what to do now. I will take care. So, and just few months later, we had stopped taking insulin, and he had come to Delhi then. And that evening, I think that night, completely stopped giving the insulin dosage. And he's been living, and because we came here, we have a society wherein very important is his diet and playing. And this is a place, I mean, this society is such that you have to be out playing for 2 hours. So this was not possible in Bangalore. That was also arranged. Even his school had the same nurse who could take care of this condition also. So all small things that you see suddenly start making sense, that oh, why is this happened, and why हम सोचते रहते हैं ना, the small miracles that are happening. And recently, we had been 1 month back when he'd been to the Shri hospital and to meet Gurudev. Suddenly his levels were a little high, and then I went, and my teacher. So when your teacher speaks for you, so your teacher speaks even more with greater power for you. That please just go. So, and then Gurudev just smiled and blessed. That was just enough. That even he doesn't have to say anything, just smile and bless. That itself gives so much of solace when you are just with it, that everything drops. And the next day we had taken a blood insulin report, and that report said that he is not an autoimmune person. Whatever that they were saying is not even. And they said he's just insulin resistant, so this can be handled. We will see something about it. So, I mean, that's it. you know, you sometimes you feel this is so when your screw is loose, he tightens it, he looks at you and gives also blessings. So don't worry. Yes, but otherwise, just know the grace is flowing through. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The grace is flowing. And really, it was a wonderful session with you. And
Absolutely.
as we all are like in the same journey, we can all resonate with you very nicely. How Gurudev takes us ahead. Sometimes challenging situations do happen, but when we see the whole picture, we can see the grace part in it. Wonderful. I would request everyone to do comment about this session, how you felt, how you are feeling, something you want to share. So I'd request Rohini ji, if you have some time, you can read the comments below the YouTube, and maybe some of the good comments you can reply also over there. So I'd request everyone to comment in this video, because in the comment section we get to know much more thing about like what resonated with you. And second is that you share this session to maximum people. Many people are waiting for this session. We don't know. So make sure that you do share and do subscribe this channel also. This session is something different. We can't compare this channel with any other channel. It has different energy altogether. It
Definitely.
uplifts you. And there is a feeling that, okay, Gurudev is there with me. Okay, things will fall in place. It may take some time, but it will fall in place. So, Rohini ji, before we conclude, any concluding remarks you want to say to all the people?
Yeah. One is, yes, you're doing such an amazing job of raising the sattva with this all these talks, right? Giving hope is something so beautiful, and you've been doing this, so I'm very grateful from all of us, as devotees, as participants, or people who are generally, this needs to reach out more. That is one thing that I have, and like how Gurudev said yesterday, know that you are the light. Yes, and sometimes be patient, and know it's the unseen flow of grace is always flowing. So all that you have to know is that the presence is always there, and he's always close to you, and the grace is always flowing. That's all that. And if you can spread this also to as many people, that is the best life. Yes. Jai
Well,
Gurudev.
thank you so much, Didi, for coming and sharing this. Jai Gurudev.